Oi, you lot. Trump 2.0 has just started and people are losing their freaking minds already. They endlessly called him a Nazi and tried multiple times to impeach Orange Man bad, but in the end, here we are. They were literally inches away from whacking him. If he didn't turn his head at the split second, it would have been Trump brains all over the podium. And yet, with blood all over his face after taking a bullet, he stands up and does the most iconic thing and says, fight, fight, fight. I mean, love the guy or hate the guy, but Jesus Christ, you've got to respect him. I mean, come on, that is a level of courage that is insane. And don't forget, this fucker's 80 years old. Trump is in his 80s, and he's moving like fucking Chuck Norris. And then when he won the election, well, Trump strutted in like he owns the place. Well, spoiler alert, he kind of does now, at least for the next 4 years. Maybe more. Okay, so buckle up, libs. This is gonna be a bumpy ride. And the funniest thing of all, you're forced to be here for the next 4 years. So enjoy every second. Trump's back, baby. And he didn't just win, he swept the election like he was grabbing pussies all over the country. Popular vote, grabbed it by the pussy. First time a Republican president's actually won since mullets were a thing in the 80s. Every one of the 7 swing states, boom, grabbed it by the pussy. According to lefty rag New York Times, 89% of the US counties turned more red, telling the left, you're cooked, bruv. 0121, do one. He took the House, the Senate, electoral vote as well. I mean, that is a clean sweep. To be honest, it was fucking historic. Maybe he can end up on Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore? Calm down, mate. He ain't Abe Lincoln, or is he? They slung every slur, fascist, pig, Putin's puppet, Russian collusion, and on and on and on ad nauseum. And he still won, bigly. He won bigly. I mean, it's unbelievable. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, proved you can be the worst candidate in history and still get a participation trophy. The DNC are clowns for putting that lady to run for president. She was never gonna do anything. And as a matter of fact, she didn't do f*** all. Kamala didn't do a single piece of media when she got anointed. 45 days of silence. They put the crown on her head and she did nothing for 45 days. Trump did media in all corners of the earth. He was going on every podcast, every interview. He was doing it all. And Kamala just sat, literally, she did what Joe Biden did before. She just sat in the basement. Doing what? I don't know. But let's also be clear. It wasn't that Trump was, George Washington or Abraham Lincoln or something like that. No, it's just that the Democrats were so freaking bad. They had no message. It wasn't vote for us because we are fill in the blank. It was, look over here. Look how bad Trump is. You can't vote for that. He's evil, man. He's orange. Look. Bad, bad, bad. Yes, but you guys had nothing. You had nothing to run on. Nothing of value was coming from your mouths. Joe Biden's border policy was a bloody all-you-can-eat buffet for the illegals and the cartels, smuggling nearly 10 to 12 million people in 4 years. Can you imagine? That's 11,000 illegal crossings a day. A day. I mean, let's give some perspective. Only 10,000 babies are born every day in the US. So there were more illegal crossings per day in the US than US citizens being born. Fuck me. Talk about the great replacement theory. But that is wild. The cartels were running rampant with some of the biggest trafficking rings in the world going across that border, especially exploiting women and children to unconscionable levels. Sick bastards. Now Biden and Kamala, they begged Congress to do something while they did nothing to fix it themselves. Trump rolls in, and in the first 50 days, boom, droppings down to 40 or so per day. From 11,000 a day to like 40 a day. Now don't hold me to those exact numbers, but any sort of drop in that ballpark, holy shit, Trump is winning. That's a drop of like 99.999% in like yesterday. Let that sink in, as they would say. Here's Sleepy Joe, eating ice cream on the beach, a common occurrence while he was president. while a small army of invaders made a conga line over the border each day. Trump shows up, stares them down, and it empties faster than an ICE raid at a Mexican restaurant. Ukraine, Biden's lot pumped billions into Zelensky's forever war that he couldn't win, and everyone knew he couldn't win it from the start. Meanwhile, your eggs cost more than your freaking rent. Then in comes Trump, storms in, bitch slaps Zelensky all over the Oval Office, and suddenly peace talks pop off. Let's see if they can ride all the way to the end. Now, typical Trump was very hyperbolic. Promised to end the war in one day, which was obviously bollocks, but he has moved the needle much, much closer in his first few weeks in office than Biden ever did. So hopefully, in a few months, we can end this bloodshed that's just killed so many people for no freaking reason. Gaza. Well, Trump made a cringe video about building Trump Towers and Mar-a-Lago in the middle of the rubble, which, bit distasteful, agreed. But hey, I would take a semi-ugly Trump Tower over 50 unalived Palestinians any day of the week. What a fucking sad shit show that whole mess is. Hamas are fucking nutjobs. The Israeli government haven't exactly covered themselves in glory, to say the least. Talk about understatement of the year. Have things been taken too far, in some opinions? I'll leave you to decide that. But either way, no one is walking away from this mess with any sort of shining grace. Meanwhile, Saudi, Jordan, Qatar sit on their asses doing nothing while the West bankrolls Palestine from thousands of miles away. These guys are all part of the same Abrahamic religions. They just slaughter each other for no reason, like it's going out of fashion. Now, you can all have your grievances, I get that, but Jews and Arabs are 99% the same people. It's truly sad. We're all the same people, in fact. Look at, a few millimeters past skin color, and we're effectively identical. I just don't understand why all of this is going on, but Trump says he can fix it, clock's ticking. That's all I'm saying. Doge. Trump and Elon Musk absolutely shredded waste like it was going out of fashion. 200 billion in useless spending gone so far, and probably by the time this video comes out, probably pushing 300 million to be honest, so well done for these two. Kudos. USAID or USAIDs, wasting 1.5 million to make Ugandan transgender musicals gayer than a unicorn's gay orgy is just ridiculous. 20 million on new Sesame Street show in Iraq, aiming to educate kids amid war-torn chaos. Noble idea, but 20 million quid, 20 million for Big Bird in Baghdad, while people are dodging bullets. Come on, bit much. And let's not forget the racket down in Colombia. USAID's throwing 1.3 billion at farmers to swap coca, cocaine's raw material, for legal crops like coffee. Get this, a 2016 GAO report found coca production actually rose. Farmers took the cash, then replanted coca anyway. Drug lords cheered. Over £1 billion to accidentally boost the cocaine trade. Well done. I tip my hat off to you, USAIDs. They're also funding trans operas in Colombia, queer comics in Peru, and because nothing fixes the world more than drag queens doing musicals all over the globe. Why are you gay? You are gay. Why am I gay? I don't think I am. Nothing against it, but I just don't think I am. Here's your aid, straight to the drug lords. Cheers, lads. Bloody brilliant. More like Muppets in Congress. And if all of that wasn't enough, Trump decided to pick a trade war with his two closest neighbors and his biggest rivals on the world stage. China has basically screwed the US out of 7 trillion over the last 20 years, suckling from the teat of the US economy. Basically, China's stealing the US's entire manufacturing industry, leading to a gutting of the middle class. And they basically did this by artificially manipulating their currency to keep their exports cheap, while slapping huge tariffs on US imports. Nice. Now, I'm no freaking expert, but on the surface of it, that doesn't seem fair to me. Maybe there's more nuance that I've got to look into. I'll do that another time. But on a direct one-to-one equation, I don't see anything wrong with it. Maybe I'm the ignorant prick. I can accept that. But Trump's not holding back. This cunt's slapping tariffs everywhere, harder than he's grabbing pussy. Someone's got to cave real soon. A few countries have blinked, but let's see who really gives in first in the game of call my bluff. He's banned trans athletes from women's sports, and he's banned trans troops from the military. The lefties are crying bloody murder. The right's cheering like it's the second coming of Jesus. But can we please be honest? If LeBron James became LaQuisha James tomorrow, he'd be a one-man team and still dunk 200 points a game in the WNBA. Military? Well, if you're on hormone blockers and you're crying in the trenches because your nipples are soft and tender, well, sorry, you ain't fit to fight. LaQuisha's here, 200 points, game over. Biology's a bitch, motherfucker. War's no sport, eh? Tough, cool. But it's a reality. Now, for those with short memories, don't forget, Trump was a Democrat up until only a few years ago. He was front and center at Chelsea Clinton's wedding and was a huge Democrat donor. But then he ran on the Republican ticket and suddenly became the Antichrist. I was a center leftist until the left moved so far that it left me behind. Now, I probably look like someone who would be in the KKK. Remember when Joe Biden said, if you vote Trump, then you ain't black? Well, I guess I'm not black. And here I am yapping away about the USA, when the UK has gone absolutely to shit in a handbasket. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Love him or hate him, you can't say Trump is not inclusive. He nuked DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion, so no one felt left out. His cabinet? RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Vivek, well, he didn't last long, and a few wild cards that might seem politically a bit, off the beaten path. But Trump didn't care about partisanship. What he wanted was to bring what he believes, whether rightly or wrongly, whether you believe him or not, it's what he believes. And you've got to admit, it's a pretty wide umbrella. And let's be honest, it's a bit refreshing to see a team of, let's say, superheroes, from their side of things anyway, the villains from the other side, but a bunch of superheroes who aren't afraid about offending people and giving a fuck about what other people think. Trump got a mandate to get stuff done. Like it or hate it, you've got to respect the fact that they're actually doing it. And oh yeah, he renamed the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America because, I can give a fuck. So Trump started with a bang. Borders fixed, warmongers slapped, waste chopped, and they-thems sobbing into their vegan oat milk with some extra soy. Genius or nutcase? Or probably a bit of both. He made a bunch of promises and he ticked more than Biden did his whole administration. Remember when Biden said he would cure cancer? Yes, he did say that on the campaign trail. He did. That fucking cunt said that. So yes, Trump chats shit, just like all politicians do. It's part of the job, to be honest. You know the joke, right? How do you know a politician's lying? Their lips are moving. Ha 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 ha. And honestly, it's mostly true, especially for Trump, right? But he's effective. Love him or hate him, he's effective. And if you despise him, if you're on the other side of the aisle, you can't keep denying and closing your eyes to the 50% plus who did vote for him. But like my fellow Brit Piers Morgan always says, focus on what Trump does, not on what he says. Fucking hell, Sanders is slipping to become US president, eh? Methods to the madness or just plain madness? Again, only time will tell. The world's a circus, politicians are the clowns, and Trump, like it or lump it, he's the ringmaster now. He's your daddy, bitch. He's your daddy. Call him daddy. If he plays his cards right over the next few years, Trump could win a Nobel Peace Prize. Can you believe it? Nobel Peace Prize and ending up on Mount Rushmore. Wow, what a troll of the ages. Or will it lead to the US spiraling into recession, escalation into World War III, take Greenland by force and cause a civil war? To be honest, I think it's 50-50 on both sides. Either could easily happen. Whether it's Gaza, Ukraine, the economy, AI, Greenland, whatever it may be. Trump's got 4 years to fix it, or fuck it up so bad we all get nuked into high heaven. TikTok, orange man bad. Fix the shit you said you're gonna fix. Can he do it? Fuck knows. But let's be honest, no matter what you think of him, admit it. You're hooked on him. You're hooked on the madness. He lives rent-free in your head, and you couldn't kick him out if you fucking tried. You're a fan, motherfucker. You can do watch-alongs or hate-alongs, but if you're watching, after all this time, you're a fan. So that's my rant on things. Trump, the new Abe Lincoln, or the second coming of actual Hitler. If I missed anything, drop in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and let's see if we're still here in 4 years.